Well, for the fifth straight year, Tasmania is hosting Hi-Tec Oil's Race Tasmania in the opening round of the exciting 2025 Trico Trans Am Series. 65 years of motor racing history at Symmons Plains, just outside Launceston, is the host and venue for today's opening round of the series. It's been a big weekend at Hi-Tec Oil's Race Tasmania. We've got plenty more racing coming up over the next 4 hours here. I'm Aaron Noonan, great to have you with us for what is set to be a very big afternoon. 4 categories in action. Thomas Randall is with us too. You've swapped the Tickford Mustang for a microphone this weekend, and we've already seen 2 races over the course of the weekend so far. Reigning champion Todd Hazelwood is unbeaten. His brand new car is 2 from 2.
He is. He hasn't put a foot wrong so far. Noons, good afternoon. Good afternoon to everyone back at home watching live this afternoon from Symmons Plains. It's going to be a trickier race, this one, because there is more points on offer now for races 3 and 4, and we did see quite a lot of cars roll out with their brand new right-hand side tyres. So 6 tyres you get from qualifying to racing, but Todd Hazelwood actually had to use a tyre for this morning's race because he had a slow puncture in the race yesterday. So that's going to throw a spanner in the works for him. But there's been a lot of racing action so far, hasn't there?
Well, there's always going to be plenty of action when we have plenty of cars. We have a record field this weekend of 32 cars as we begin a 7-round national series. It begins here in Tasmania next month at Easter. It's the Hi-Tec Oil's Bathurst 6 Hour. We're going to the mountain, Mount Panorama in Bathurst for round 2. There's 3 rounds this year where the Trans Am cars will race with supercars. And there's also 4 standalone events at 4 very historic venues. We'll be at Winton for Race Winton in August. And we're going back to Mallala in South Australia for a back-to-back weekend to round out the season. Mallala and then the Adelaide Grand Final. We've got 7 rounds of Trans Am this year. In terms of the last few years, we've got every champion who's ever been the champion of this series in the field this year. 2-time champ Nathan Hearn, 2023 champ James Moffat, and the reigning champ with #1 on his car for the TFH racing team, the reigning Bathurst 1000 winner Todd Hazelwood. I caught up with him ahead of this weekend as he sets off to defend his crown.
Todd, start of a new season. Everybody's zero. Everything from last year doesn't matter now, but I can't help but think that you have to still be basking in the glory of your last few months of 2024. Bathurst win, Trans Am champion. You couldn't have asked for any more.
100% Noons. It's funny coming to 2025. You're like, man, how do I front up and be better than last year? Because it was very epic. Loved every moment of last year, but as you said, we start 0 now. It's a clean slate. Everyone's been working hard over the summer. So for us, we always say, we start, we'll be where we'll be, but it's how we finish the year. So, we'll go from there.
You've got the #1 on your car, so you are the guy that everybody is chasing this year. Do you come into this going, well, you know what, there's no real pressure here because I've proven what I can do. I've won the Bathurst 1000. I can enjoy motor racing rather than coming into years stressed, worried, trying to make sure you get a good result, keep your drive, get a contract. I get a sense from you that you're in a really good place in your world, your car racing world, your life. Things are good.
Yeah, no, thanks, Noons. I think, even going back last year, the big thing for me coming into Trans Am, working with TFH, it was a new program, new team, new challenge. And for me, it sort of invigorated myself, but I had fun with it. And looking back to this year now, it's like we'll just keep doing the same. We've stepped up our team in our presence. I think, we've expanded heavily over the off-season. So there's a lot of new elements into our team, which I think for me still keeps me challenged, keeps me on my toes. And yeah, for me, it's just, what was last year that's run and done. When we front up for qualifying for this weekend, it's going to be day 1. We will start fresh. Yes, the #1's on the door and that's nice, but the reality is, the inner race for me, I'll be just trying to maximise every session, every race, every qualifying session, trying to get the most out of my year.
So when you're not driving the #1 Mustang, what are you doing in the team? Are you in the workshop every day? What's your role day to day in there? Or you're not kind of the, I bring my helmet, I drive the race car, I win the trophy, I go home. You're not very much that kind of character.
Yeah, last year was very much a pet project. We started from scratch, empty workshop, and as the year went on, we kept evolving our car, kept getting better and better, and we didn't have an engineer until the last 2 rounds of the year, and that was really just to fine-tune our package, because at that stage, it was basically between a couple of the guys in the workshop and myself, just basically shooting ideas at each other, trying to fine-tune the car as the season went on. So for us to win the championship last year off the back of how we did it, how we went about it, off our own back, was really cool. And great racing. The racing is fantastic. What we saw last year, you're basically murdering the thing the whole race, the whole weekend. You can drive the wheels off it and actually get rewarded for it, which is quite unique in modern motorsport.
Good luck finding some racetrack. Good luck finding the podium. Good to catch up and all the best for 2025.
Thank you very much, Noons. Looking forward to it. Cheers.
Well, it was a big day yesterday at Hi-Tec Oils Race Tasmania. 2 practice sessions, qualifying, and then this. Not even 50 metres in, and James Moffat laid it down to the reigning champ, Todd Hazelwood, in turn number 1. Everybody played nicely through this first set of turns. This was Rice on the outside at turn number 4. We expected this bit of bump and grind down here, Tom Randall, as he made it back into the commentary box. But for Charlie Nash, he was served up, but lucky to get away with this one.
Yeah, very lucky. He actually spoke to me after the race and was stuck in second gear, so that's why he got hit there. And then there was a bit of carnage a bit further on that involved Charlie again, unfortunately. So that's Webster pulling off to the side, had left rear suspension damage. But yeah, Moffat made his intentions very clear early on with that excellent overtake on the first lap on Todd Hazelwood. This is Hazelwood getting back by Nathan Hearn for the second position. And everything was looking pretty good for Moffat at this point, as there is the number 2 going around, Adam Garwood. And then this was what we caught on camera. Moffat with what we didn't know at the time was a left rear axle that had snapped and unfortunately losing drive. So big shame for the LMCT Plus driver, and he's got his work cut out for him this morning, starting down in 26th position.
Wasn't the Lone Ranger. There was a bit of oil down here on the track, which caught Josh Thomas's interest down there. Robbie Farr would pull up just coming out of turn number 4 here. It was a broken gear selector on the Hi-Tec Oil Chevy Camaro that stopped him. Same too for Mark Crutcher in car number 4, but out in front, under safety car, the reigning champ started from pole, picked up his first win, and got the fastest lap in race number 1 yesterday. The perfect day, and he'll lead the field around. So here is the grid. Todd Hazelwood on the front row. Mustangs, wherever you look in this weekend's field. Nathan Hearn alongside him. Tom Davies, his first ever podium yesterday, starts out at 3 with James Golding. Lockie Evanet, the rookie, starts out at 5 aboard the number 8 machine. Jordan Cox starts out of 6 with Nash Morris and Ben Grice. On the 4th row, Josh Haynes and Jackson Rice starting down towards the bottom of the top 10. We look at Jack Smith and Elliot Barber. Blake Tracy, one of the rookies up the field there in yesterday's one. Jared Hughes, Ben Gomersall, who was dropped to 15th position for contact with Elliot Barber, who finished 11th yesterday. Ben Barguana next to him. Domain Ramsey will start down the field in 21st position. John Hollinger, James Moffat on that 13th row. Charlie Nash was given 30 seconds to his time for exceeding the pit lane speed yesterday by more than 4 kilometres an hour. He'll start alongside Robbie Farr. Cameron Laws, an oil line come off his number 9 car. He'll start towards the back. Graham Cheney and Josh Webster was a broken rear end on the Hi-Tec Oils Auto Fix Mustang. Not the way the Tasmanian wanted his day to play out.
Here's all the drivers lining up. This is the second of the 2 formation laps, and we're just gathering everyone here as they all come through that sweeper at turn number 5. I think we're going to be looking good for a start here, Nolts.
They were asked to slow it right down before turn number 5, the sweeper, and they've done it nicely today. The 32 car field, I'm happy to say, 32 are out there, and we're ready to go. In race number 2, the opening stands are on Sunday morning in the Trico Trans Am Series. The reigning champ has a double-time champ on his right-hand side. Watch for the youngster on the inside, the 2nd row. Watch James Golding as well, from 11th up into 4th position yesterday. Cars taking off to the grass already. Looks like Graham Cheney perhaps in the 51 machine. It's down into turn number 1 we go. Played it nice and cool for the first time. In car with Nash Morris, a wall of cars ahead of him. As he pulls up alongside to make the move, there's bump and grind. There's a bit of feeling on the charge down towards turn number 4 for the first time. They're 3 wide. Hearn has squeezed back. He's lost a handful of positions already in the 29 machine, at least 5 spots through turn number 1. So the man from Lismore on the back foot, it seems, coming out of turn number 4, but out in front, the reigning champ leads. But look at Davies, side by side with Golding, will have the better line on the way down to turn number 6 with some raindrops on the lens down there.
Excellent start for James Golding, up to 2nd from 4th, and Hearn, I don't know what happened at the start there, off the front row next to Hazelwood. He's gone all the way back to 7th, so not the start he would have wanted, and it looks like Morris and Evanet have sorted each other out into turn 6, but I was about to say another lap that we will tame, but what's happened here with Webster?
He's facing the wrong way. He's got to Austin Powers his way out of this one, baby. It's a really tight section. The fielder coming towards him with a white flag. About a safety car board is going to be shown there in the background by the look of it. The field arriving on the scene. And Webster, his heart rate would be up, seeing 31 of his mates heading towards that scene.
Just hope everyone sees the safety car boards here, because it's not often you're going about 5 kilometres an hour at that part of the tracks. then looks like, I think that's just your typical sort of parking lot into turn 4, lap 1 there, and I don't really think there was much that could be done. I think it was sort of a 3.
Oh, the medical car just come through the dust. The medical car was caught in that dust cloud and didn't see the 200 till the very last second on the way to turn 4. This is from James Moffat. Incidentally, he's made up 7 positions in all this. Oh, very NASCAR-like, isn't it, heading down there? Drive through the dust. You can drive right through it. Would be the cue.
That gives me flashbacks of Raikkonen at Spa.
Yes.
Through all the smoke, so he's done well there. Up 7 spots on the opening lap, and as we're under the Bucky Motors safety car.
Back to racing we go. And the train of Trans Ams make their way back to John Bowe pit straight. Golding going with Hazelwood on the way up to this turn 1 and 2 complex of Symmons Plains Raceway. Davies runs in third with Evanet, Nash Morris and Nathan Hearn. As the rest of the field still coming past our commentary position, trying to keep the heat into the tyres on what's a very cool morning here today in Tasmania.
Yeah, still plenty of dirt on that outside into turn number 4, so drivers going to want to be careful of that, but great launch for Hazelwood on the restart, perfectly controlled, eyes forward, and yeah, that first time into turn 4 on a restart is always tricky because you try and get as much tyre temp as you can on those safety car laps, but you still have cold tyres, cold brakes, so you just got to bring it back a little bit as we ride on board with James Moffat, still in 19th position, up to 18th. And he has Ben Gomersall in front of him as he goes for a big, looks like a big lunge now into turn 6, and I think he's made the position stick.
He has. There's 2 positions in the 1 lap for the former champ of 2023.
Someone's just bowled a wide into, I think that was James Golding, just a little bit wide. Oh, we've got Thomas gone round.
All that great work from yesterday where he went from 32nd up into 20th has put him back to that position as Cam Laws and Domain Ramsey in that seat, and Jason Pride. And the second of the TFH cars, they're all scattering down at turn number 6. And down the other end, number 5 machine, Blake Tracy, kicking up the dust in his first weekend, the Trico Trans Am Series.
Riding on board now with James Moffat, who's up into 13th place, riding behind Ben Barguana. So from a P26 start up to 13th here.
He's got past Barguana because that's Jack Smith ahead in the SCT Logistics Mustang, the championship-winning car of Hazelwood's last year. So Moffat slicing his way through the field, and he needs to. After leading yesterday's race, found himself in 26 at the end. More replays now. Down at the bottom turn, Jason Pride thinking he's back at the Perth Motorplex with that move at the hairpin, and drops him at least 3 or 4 positions in the Tasman Power Harman Transportation entry, and almost banks panels with John Hollinger as he returns to the racetrack. Here comes the leader back to finish another lap. Gap goes out to 1.7 seconds. That time by 55 flat for Hazelwood and 55.1 for James Golding. A brand new car for TFH Racing. And the reigning champ picked up where he left off in 2024 by grabbing pole yesterday. Led 9 laps of the race, picked up the fastest lap and maximum points on day number 1.
Little battle here with Hearn, Evanet and Barber is going to drag Rice and Moffat into it as well. I think Hearn's really probably struggling with those tyres. Had a few lockups at the start of this race. Oh, and Robbie Farr at the moment down into turn number 6.
And cruising back towards the track. So the number 70 Hi-Tec Oil Chevy Camaro. Is he heading back to the pits, maybe? Nope, just taking the ultimate high line to let the leaders go by. So great observation from the mirrors. What happened to the 70? Well, he just came in hot, didn't he?
Yeah, too hot into there, and slammed the brakes on pretty hard late in the stop, probably realising he wasn't going to make it. And yeah, that's all she wrote, unfortunately. But he's gathered it up okay and rejoined the track safely, letting the leaders through. But just press on from there.
Spoke to him in the pits briefly. He's enjoying his time. He says, if I can run with the likes of Crutcher and co, he's running in the Masters Cup class this season, he'll be more than happy. He knows how quality this field is. And a minute and a half plus 1 lap. We jump in car with the former champion. It's a champion drive today, and it's been clean from the 34 car. On the way down to turn number 6, Robbie Farr on the left-hand side.
Awkward, very awkward. And I think Moffat might be off here at turn number 6. And that's going to cost him all those positions that he made up. So that was really awkward trying to go around the outside of Robbie Farr.
How's the curse job I just gave?
Commentator's curse.
Up until that point, it was clean, and then finds himself off the track and puts himself now well down the field. With Hazelwood heading down towards turn number 6, they've pulled away some 5 seconds to Nash Morris. Davies and Grice are next on the road. So down through turn number 6 and around to complete another lap. There should be 1 to go, with Elliot Barber, the lone bow tie inside the top 10. In the Pioneer DJ Chevy Camaro. Final lap. Hazelwood closing this one down. There's more smoke and dust on the way down to turn number 4. And another car off the track on the right-hand side.
I think it's Charlie Nash off on the exit of turn 4.
Now,
what happened there?
Because that's not just a lock-up. There's a lot of blue smoke there. I wonder if there's something mechanical. And he's pulled right off the track there. In fact, he's almost down in the sheep paddock on the right-hand side. It's a battlefield of cars parked down here today. It's down towards the last set of turns with more traffic ahead. Todd Hazelwood into turn number 6 he comes in a TFH hire. Brand new number 1 Mustang. Powers his way out of the final turn and grabs the win in race 2 of Trico Trans Am here today at Symmons Plains. A race full of attrition once again. Cars with wounds, but not for the number 1 car. A nice drive and holding back James Golding. And at the back is Jackson Rice. So he drops out of position 11. The first national real estate number 7 will get a result. But what has gone on with that Tickford 55? He's gone to the right-hand side and it's still smoking away. And the body language tells it all from the youngster.
But maximum points once again for Todd Hazelwood. And that last 3 minutes of the race, there was just action happening everywhere.
It was full on. Guess what? We'll do it 2 more times later today here at Hi-Tec Oils Race Tasmania. Todd Hazelwood, the winner from Golding, and Morris gets his first podium of the weekend with Davies, Grice, Nathan Hearn. Adam Garwood gets position 7 on our screens there. Evanet was next with Cox and Smith. Blake Tracy, James Moffat, the big mover, even with that little lose at the end, still manages 14 positions. Ben Barguana, Josh Haynes, Jared Hughes, Chase Hoy into Candelo Steel City 77 inside the top 20. And John Hollinger back in 23rd position. Robbie Farr, who spun, ended up in 27th position. And then a list of DNFs at the bottom of our screens. Take nothing away from our man at the top. The number 1 is 1 after 2 races in the Trico Trans Am Series here today at Symmons Plains. And he's ready to talk to Aaron Noonan down in Victory Lane. The toddler picks up another win.
Matty does, undefeated. This brand new car is 2 from 2. Well done. That looked a little easier today.
Look, Jimmy was on my tail, so I was just trying to, look after the gap, look after the tyre as much as I can. We had to sacrifice the tyre yesterday, so essentially 1 tyre down in our tyre bank. So, yeah, just trying to conserve as much as I could, but hey, the car was an absolute jet. So big thanks to my team at TFH Racing. We worked till nearly midnight last night trying to solve a few issues that we had yesterday's race, and most importantly, big shout out to my dad over there, Rusty. Happy 64th birthday. So no better present than getting a race win. We'll see how we go in races 3 and 4. They're the big points races, so hopefully we can get the wins in those ones.
Super stuff. Well done.
Thank you. So far, so good.
There he is, Todd Hazelwood, the winner of race 2. We'll
Stick
head
around. We've got plenty more coming up on the other side of this break.
Great to hear from some of the stars. So the grid set on the order of this morning's race. Mark Crutcher waiting at the top of pit lane. Had some steering dramas with the number 4 Crutcher Developments Mustang after a broken gear selector in his race yesterday. And here is the grid based on the results of earlier today. Hazelwood and Golding, Morris and Tom Davies on road 2. Ben Grice and Nathan Hearn on road number 3. Lockie Evanet having a fantastic rookie start alongside the next rookie, Jack Smith, who was great in the SCT Logistics 111 Mustang early today. Blake Tracy inside the top 10 as well. James Moffat featuring there as well with Barguana, Haynes, Jared Hughes and Chase Hoy into the Cantaloupe Steel City car. Adam Garwood will start down the field. He copped a penalty from the previous race. Jordan Cox alongside him with Jackson Rice, Mark Bailey, Cameron Laws and Elliot Barber. Down in 20th, Domain Ramsey and Des Collier, John Hollinger and Jason Pride, Michael Coulter and Graham Cheney on the 13th row. Robbie Farr and Josh Webster and Charlie Nash. Question mark next to him and Ben Gomersall. Also there with Josh Thomas and Mark Crutcher at the back of the field for this third race of the weekend in Trico Trans Am. Hazelwood on the right-hand side, reigning champ in his rookie season last year. Started off in style with pole position yesterday, picked up the win after the demise of James Moffat, who's powered his way through the field. He starts from 11 in this Trico Trans Am Series. Race 3 of the weekend, race 2 of Sunday, as they build up, waiting for the red lights to extinguish. And now they do. And the charge is on, panel to panel, on the way down to turn number 1. Morris on the inside, aggressive in the normal Motorplex car. Hearn once again hung out. Same 2 for Moffat. He's going to lose 2 or 3 positions. As Morris seesaws, we got contact through the straight. It's Golding in the front and nowhere to go for Morris. Can they escape all of this? Everybody sent out the dirt. They can't. And there's cars going everywhere. Multi-car shunt in the background. There's going to be at least 6 or 7 cars, maybe more. And the track is blocked.
This is going to be a red flag, Nolte.
The track completely blocked. We've seen this before in supercars. But now the Trico Trans Am Series, I might have been ambitious saying there was 6.
I think there's about 14 cars there. So there's someone stopped further up here, but that all looked like it started between Nash Morris and Golding. So Golding managed to stay on the track out of turn number 1 as we've just gone red flag. Look at the mess, Nolte. There's cars everywhere.
The poor medical car was caught up in an incident this morning. It almost got Josh Webster in the cloud of dust, and it's now part of the melee down here. So Domain Ramsey's in the middle. Graham Cheney is in there. Des Collier trying to reverse out the scene. Elliot Barber, Mark Bailey, John Hollinger. Do you want me to go on? Mark Crutcher, Josh Thomas, Robbie Farr is also in there.
And Nash Morris in the pits looked like he's got some damage in the front end, steering damage. So they've exited out of turn number 2.
I count 11.
11. There's probably not 11 that are fully damaged in that. But yeah, Nash is back to the pits as well.
You've made a really good point. For the amount of cars down there, there seems to be a limited amount of damage. We only saw it from the in-car perspective. We hope to see from the outside went down. We're expecting this in race 1 yesterday. 32 cars trying to jam into a small space. Michael Coulter drives away in a Terps Tippers Mustang. And the red flag is out here in race number 3. So some overlap between Golding and Morris. Bit of a chain reaction here. Everybody's stacked on the mills here. But of course, it's so dusty down there. You're driving into blindness effectively. And just screeching of Hoosier tyres in the distance. This is how we saw it live. So Morris was just on the rear guard of the 31. Classic overlap, classic Symmons Plains first lap. Then the field went scattering.
Yeah, slight bit of overlap there. Nash Morris on James Golding. And Nash obviously didn't want to lift out of that. Jimmy probably thought he was clear of Nash, and they've both made, well, heavy contact for Nash, and then it's just caused chaos behind. Adam Garwood, I don't know whether he got hit into Mark Bailey, and that's just caused a flurry of cars to go across the track. And now you can't even see anything with how much dust is flying as we ride on board with Moffat. He sort of got pushed off the track here on the exit of turn number 2, which potentially might have actually worked in his favour. So as we're riding on board now to turn 2, then there's chaos that's just ensuing up ahead. We have Josh Haynes up ahead in the Herzog Steel entry.
All in front of him.
And everyone's just on the brakes. And he's managed to get through that okay.
And barely a twitch of the steering wheel through the middle of that for the former champion.
And the battle for Pro-Am, which was between Mark Bailey and Cameron Laws, well, they're both out of action in this one. So our Pro-Am leader, Collier, 17th outright as the Buckley Motors safety car lights are out. So no more weaving. Todd Hazelwood will take control of the field from Ben Grice, who's just been a quiet achiever so far in this one, staying out of all the carnage. And he's going to want to be right on the rear bar of Hazelwood, who will control the field to finally, hopefully, get this race underway, Nolts.
This will be a wild 12 minutes of racing. Remember, lap times in the 54, 55 second range, so plenty of racing laps ahead of us. They tightly stack up. The green is waving, but Todd Hazelwood says when, and when is now for the reigning champ and back-to-back winner as race 3 finally gets underway and the first 2 disappear. Grice going after Hazelwood, the All-American Driveline Auto Parts 03 Mustang, chasing the reigning champ. Davies has got Hearn. Lachlan Everett behind in the cam group number 8. And down to turn number 4. Is it going to be safe this time? They're in single file and they're spaced out nicely. Here comes Grice. Hearn looks out for a phantom move on the 42, puts it to the inside, and will race alongside the 42 and the charge down the long back straight.
Side by side, Hearn and Davies down the back straight. And it looks like Hearn will be on the left-hand side heading down into turn number 6. So trying to get that move done on Tom Davies. Ben Grice just trying to hang with Hazelwood on the restart, was thinking about a move into turn 4. We can see more damage in front of Nash Morris. Oh, Josh Webster with a bit of that right rear damage. Here comes Todd Hazelwood leading the charge. First racing lap completed here for race 3 of Trico Trans Am Series. Benny Grice hanging in there, hanging tough. Tom Davies with Nathan Hearn just breathing down his neck as we head back down to turn number 4. Such a quick lap here at Symmons Plains Raceway, only a 2.4 kilometre circuit, 2 extremely long straights. James Moffat putting the pressure on.
54.9 first flying lap for Todd Hazelwood. As we're in car with Moffat, he's got Jared Hughes ahead in the Road Active Suspensions 118 machine. Part of the IES team with Graham Cheney. Through the right-hander, there's Moffat. What a return it's been after that broken axle during race number 1 yesterday. Pulls up to make the move on Hughes, and Hughes has to yield, but needs to tuck himself back in behind and not allow Haynes, who's had a lot of track time. That's purely because the car was hung off the racing line. It's allowed the Herzog Steel car to climb up onto the bumper.
Yeah, Hughes lost a lot of time there. Just ran a little bit wide off of turn number 6. Just needs to play it smart here. Get in behind James Moffat. Just try and follow him through. So Moffat now up to 8th from dropping back to position number 11 as we look at Hearn right on the back of Tom Davies. Trying to find weaknesses as it looks like there was an overtake in the background. I think that's Moffat on Tracy now. So Moffat up to 7th and trying to hunt down Jack Smith, who's also had quite a nice weekend here as well. Qualified 6th outright. He was fastest in his qualifying session. It's on here between Hughes and Tracy. Hughes just trying to maintain. That's what we've got. Elliot Barber's gone round into turn number 4, which that is an awkward position. Gets that thing fired up and nice little flick turn there.
Thankful for that. I thought he was going to be stuck there for a moment. The Pioneer DJ Chevy Camaro as he throttles the throttle, you know what I mean, on the way to turn number 4. And now Tracy, the auto openers, left the door open for about 3 or 4 cars. He's passed by Garwood at the same time.
A lot of smoke under there too, Nolts. A lot of smoke. He's actually got a fire.
I noticed that on the exit of turn number 4, so I think there's an issue for the 5. And in the foreground is Garwood arriving in hot in the Maverick Performance car. Car number 2, the Ford Mustang. Oh, for Tracy, I hope this isn't an engine. We saw a big flame from the right bank of that car. He's got going. But he was on for a top 10 result in his rookie weekend, and he's going to stop the car. And it's probably going to be enough for a safety car here. There's smoke starting to get thicker underneath the front of his Mustang.
He needs to try and get out as quick as he can. I don't know how far away he is from it. He's not the closest to a fire marshal point here.
He's ushering for a fire extinguisher here by the look of it. The safety car is going to be called. Once again, as Barber goes past the scene, you can see the fluid leaking underneath the car as well to the left-hand side. Brings out the safety car once again. Great news. Here we go. Safety car is going back into pit lane. And we should get probably 2 laps. Hazelwood goes for it. So does Grice, yet to win in Trico Trans Am, incidentally. He finished 2nd here, his best result back in 2023 after claiming pole. And going for win number 1 today.
Domain Ramsey has a bit of a moment there. Now, this could be Grice's best opportunity to try and grab his first win on the restart. 2 tenths behind. He's in two minds here. He's got to sort of cover from Tom Davies, and he's gone a little bit wide here, trying to get the switch back on Todd Hazelwood down the back straight. As they all just managed to get through the hairpin on the restart, all okay. And Moffat's already up to 5th place, going for a move now on Nathan Hearn. So Hearn defending for his life into turn number 4. But I tell you what, Moffat's going to send it down the inside. It's very close. He's had to bail. A little bit of contact there, Nolts, and he's going to have to settle for 5th.
1 to go for our race leader, Moffat on the charge. He's up to 5th position. Can Grice get Hazelwood? Can Moffat get Hearn for 4th position? Less than 2.4 kilometres of racing ahead of us. Haynes side by side on the exit with Bargwana and the Hangcha Forklifts Mustang. Grice will be his best result in a long time in the All-American Driveline and Auto Parts 03. He's got one last chance at the end of the straight, but look at Hearn and Moffat. Moffat forced to the outside in the battle for 4th and 5th. A good old-fashioned drag race underway.
Yeah, and he's got the traction down beautifully out of turn 4, and he's made that move stick already, which is just what he would have wanted, not to be caught on the outside into turn number 6 in the last lap, as Smith runs off on the right-hand side there. And now Hearn's got to cover from Evanet.
Good luck capturing this last corner. We know Hazelwood's going to win this, but the battle for the minors is on. Hazelwood, 3 from 3 in the Trico Trans Am Series. Hearn finishes behind Moffat. At the end of all of that, a 2-lap dash. Robbie Farr arriving in hot at the end of the race as well in the Hi-Tec Oil Chevy Camaro. And what a finish for the minor positions. Moffat gets 4th. And he is going to have to do it further down the field for the final race. But that car has got some pace. What about this guy? Untouchable.
Maximum points so far this weekend, Nolts. And like we touched on during the safety car, Tom Davies, he's going to be on the front row for this last race as we take a look at our results from race number 3.
Jared Hughes, the only bow tie in the top 10 today, back in 8th position with Hazelwood, Grice and Todd Davies in 3rd position. Moffat, Hearn, Lachlan Evanet, Jack Smith, another strong result with Hughes, Bargwana and Adam Garwood inside the top 10. The Maverick Performance entry, Jordan Cox home ahead of Josh Haynes, Chase Hoy in 13th, and Golding and Morris 14th and 15th. They found each other for the second time. Jackson Rice also inside that top 20. And outside there you had Jason Wright, Domain Ramsey, Elliot Barber with a couple of spins in his Chevy Camaro. And down to the hard luck stories of Michael Coulter, Mark Bailey, Cameron Laws in that 9 machine. It's had an adventurous day out today, and Charlie Nash, Ben Gomersall not making it to the start here. But this guy is starting to become quite a feature down in Victory Lane, and Cameron Van den Dungen is also there.
This guy over here, he's just does not want to hand over number 1. Todd Hazelwood, doesn't matter how you get him, any win is fantastic.
Win to win, obviously, yeah, never nice seeing crash cars in that first lap melee, but man, I still had my hands full there with Gricey, man. He was quick in that one, and we were just battling there. We obviously were tired down, and that started to show on that one. So, yeah, just hanging on at the moment, to be honest. So, see what the next one brings us. You know, it's good to get that one out the way, but hopefully we can try and finish the weekend happy.
Well, it's just about a perfect weekend. You got one more race to go. How compromised are you on that tyre set?
I mean, we're already at the point where it's starting to feel compromised, and we saw that with great Gricey, you know, just how quick he was, especially once we got a few laps in. I think if that safety car didn't come out, I might have had my hands full well and truly then. So I was giving everything I had then. There was nothing left in the tank. So, yeah, we'll see how we go. We've still got to tune it up. It wasn't quite nice then, so we'll keep chipping away and hopefully keep it at the pointy end. So big thanks to my team. Yeah.
Well done. One more, and it's a perfect weekend. Good luck.
We'll be trying. Thank you. Cheers on.
Stick around. We've got plenty more coming up on the other side of this break.
Hi-Tec Oils, Race Tasmania.
As the curtain starts to come down on this 5th edition down at Symmons Plains Raceway and getting set for the final race of 4 in the Trico Trans Am Series.
A bit earlier in the weekend, I caught up with one of the stars of the category, James Golding.
James, new Trans Am season. This is pretty exciting. You're going to do a bit of double up this year. Supercars full-time, more Trans Am than not, but you can't do both in any given weekend. But are you kind of the guy who turns up to these Trans Am rounds going, not in this championship, not going to be here for all of them, don't care what any of you reckon. Is that you this year?
I think definitely, yeah. Going into a Trans Am race this year, I'm going to be going all out, not thinking about the championship. It's a good thing for me to just go in and really enjoy it, have a lot of fun, but also get the value out of driving these cars is the main thing for me while I'm doing it, to stay sharp for the other racing I'm doing. Does it actually help with the supercar when you put your bum in one of these for 4 rounds for the year or whatever it might be, that it does relate to what you do in your, let's call it your day job? Or is there something where it's kind of like, it's a little bit similar, but there's a few things I better not bring with me when I get back in that supercar? Yeah, there's a lot of things you do the same in all racing really, but yeah, the cars are actually a fair bit different in terms of handling with the tyre, so you definitely couldn't hop into a supercar and drive how you drive the Trans Am, that's for sure. You'd be off the track in an instant. So yeah, it's great to keep sharp really and just have more racing under the belt. You've got to think outside the box a little bit with these cars and really manage a lot of things with the brakes and tyres and that. So for me, it's about ticking off all those boxes, still performing at a high level and getting it right for what you need on that day in that car, and that's exactly what we've got to do in the supercar as well. You're back with Gary Rogers Motorsport, who you've got a long relationship with from back when you kind of popped up on all of our radars some years ago now. Is it fun when you come racing with Gaz and Baz? I think a lot of people still actually think that they're brothers. Is it just fun to come along? You're part of 5 drivers at GRM. They kind of run it as a band of merry men. On the outside, it looks like fun, not like other racing can tend to be. Yeah, that's right. It's a lot more laid-back environment. Coming back to race for GRM's awesome. It's obviously where it all started for me as I was a young tacker doing my apprenticeship down at GRM and learning the ways, and then getting the opportunity to go into Super 2 and Supercars from there. So, yeah, obviously always take the opportunity to thank Gary and Barry for the opportunity. So, for me, it's coming back to where it all started and really just enjoying racing, but using it to my advantage with the other racing I'm doing as well. Well, I hope the advantage not just gives you miles, but it gives you a few trophies along the way as well. We're looking forward to having you on the grid in Trans Am for 2025. Thanks, mate. Look forward to adding to the cabinet.
Jimmy Golding squaring up for this final race today, out of position number 6. A nice candid sit down with our Aaron Noonan during the weekend. Here is the grid. Based on the points, Hazelwood and Tom Davies on the front row, looking for the Young Gun Award winner this weekend is Tom Davies. Ben Grice and Nathan Hearn. Lachlan Everett, the rookie, starts out of 5 with James Golding. James Moffat and Jack Smith, his first weekend in Trico Trans Am, sees him start out of 8. Nash, Morris and Jordan Cox on the 5th row. Ben Barguana and Jared Hughes. Josh Haynes and Adam Garwood, Jackson Rice and Blake Tracy. They've got the engine change, we believe, on the 5. Chase Hoy and Elliot Barber start out of the 18th position. Saw a car going to the pits in the background of that shot too. We'll get to that in a moment. Mark Bailey and John Hollinger start down the field in row number 10. Josh Thomas and Graham Cheney. Des Collier, Robbie Farr back to Jason Pride and Domain Ramsey. In the 71, Ben Gomersall, Cameron Laws on the 14th row. Back to Webster and Crutcher, Michael Calder and no Charlie Nash for today's finale.
Our lovely field of Trico Trans Ams heading around the final corner. Hazelwood, Davies, Grice and Hearn, your front 2 rows here, exiting turn 7. Now they have to run over those grid boxes for the rolling start.
And here they come. Time to pull the belts tight one more time. At Hi-Tec Oils Race Tasmania, the Trico Trans Am Series is underway with a massive amount of pressure already into turn number 1. They compress, and everybody's team playing nicely. In car with Moffat. Oh, they're not. There goes Evidence. Spun around. The number 8 machine dispatched on the exit of turn number 3, and that is heavy damage to the rear of the Formula Ford star and the Cam Quarries and Concrete entry. We saw that from the in car, and the safety car will be called with that car buried well and truly in the gravel trap and heavy damage to the rear.
Yeah, that is heavy contact for Evident. Looks like contact between Moffat and Lachlan. Tom Davies managed to hang on to 2nd position as Evident climbs out of the car. Glad that he's okay, but look at the rear of that car, Nolts. It has been absolutely squashed up against the concrete wall there.
Yeah, no tyre wall there to save, and more like a hatchback now is the 8 machine and the 16-year-old.
And on board riding with James Moffat here, so he's got Evident in front of him. You can see Nathan Hearn on the outside there, and give him a little bit of a push, still just into the back of the rear bar, and then just contact straight in the back of Lachlan Evident and just put him pretty much straight to the wall. So I think that James Moffat might be having a little chat with race control over that one.
He was already shoved into the back, I think, of Nash Morris ahead. Evanet's car was. And it's just a classic turn 1 compression of the field. And there is the 8 being dragged away from the incident. A lot of damage for Lachlan Evanet's team. Car number 8 out of the race.
Safety car's in the lane, and there he goes. Out of turn number 6. Tom Davies tries to follow, as does Ben Grice. Everyone away safely. And we're back underway for race number 4 of Trico Trans Am.
And dust flying in the background from James Golding. It just showers the field behind. So the 31 going after the field. So we're broken into groups of 3. What's going on with Nathan Hearn? He's slowing down. The 29 Blue Gold Industries entry is dropping back through the field as Grice makes the move on the inside of Tom Davies. While Gomersall has rejoined the racetrack to let the field go by. What is going on with the 2-time champion?
Very authoritative pass there from Ben Grice as we're just going past Gomersall, and looked like Josh Haynes in the background was hung out to dry as well at the turn 4 hairpin. But we did speak to Nathan, we spoke to Nathan Hearn before the race, and he said he had a fuel pump issue that they thought they resolved. So whether it's come back, some sort of gremlin in that car, whether it's a fuel pump or electrical, but yeah, that's really going to put a dent in his points as well. So as we complete lap number 4 here.
So here is Farr, and into the corner. Lots of correcting, and in the end the car, did he get assisted maybe?
Possibly.
The TFH cars was mighty close on the replay from the in-car shot of the Hi-Tec oil Chevy Camaro. How busy was he trying to just get back on the circuit and look in his mirror to make sure there was no cars behind?
Did well to gather that up.
Jason Pride was slowing there too. He's gone back to 28th position in the Tasman Power entry. More happening in the background. Jack Smith has gone around, and there's another car involved. There's dust. It's Adam Garwood putting on an expression session here at turn 4. More clouds of smoke for Mark Bailey. And Jack Smith watching himself fall down the order. From 6th position, the 111 is well outside that top 10. There is Golding. Drama with the left rear, perhaps.
Just hasn't been the weekend for them, has it? Look at the damage on the left rear. It looks like how it did after the previous race. So clearly some sort of contact with another car in that race. But for the man that started on the front row for our 3rd race today, in the pits for the final one. So disappointing for James Golding, the Warragul man, originating from Warragul, now moved to Queensland. Been in that GRM stable for a long time. So
started days as an apprentice mechanic as Des Collier goes off. We promised you there was going to be action in this final race. I think the tyres are starting to say we've had enough for one weekend, and Collier arriving in hot and sending Garwood and co. Sorry, that was Cam Laws and the rest of the crew.
He realised pretty late, I'm not going to get this move done, as contact, we can see at the bottom left there between, is that Webster again?
And Laws and Ramsey, his 2nd spin.
It's all happening down here at turn 4, Knowles.
It's also caught Michael Coulter and the Terps Tippers Ford Mustang. And I know Domain and Robbie are close mates, but they didn't want to get that close coming out of turn number 4. Golding's come back out on the track. Look how much dust and sand has been dragged onto the track down there all weekend long.
Now, can Webster find reverse, get this thing out of there so we don't have to go on a safety car?
You sure we're at Symmons Plains and not at Barbagallo Raceway, perhaps?
Or are we a Speedway? They're trying to bring all the dirt onto turn 4. So he's still parked there, so that is in a pretty dangerous position. So I'm not sure whether he's waiting for a bit of clear track or if he's actually just stranded there. So I think race control just be waiting to see, as we've just gone to under safety car conditions.
Probably just to calm everybody down, maybe. The Buckby Motor safety car ready for hopefully its last visit on the track today.
And this is looking, Nolte, like we may get a 1-lap dash here. And Todd Hazelwood, with a brilliant getaway out of the final corner, leads us on what will be the final lap of Trico Trans Am Series this weekend.
Hazelwood's not waiting around to find out. He's gone out of turn number 1 and charging down towards 4. Grice might have Morris lining him up. He moves that blue, red and white 0-3 car as far as he can to the left-hand side. Morris will try the switchback on this, the final lap. So it's a one-lap dash. Morris feeds it gears coming out of the turn 4 hairpin. This is letting the one car off the hook. Morris challenging. Grice will keep this car to the left-hand side and protect as long as he can pull the car up nicely through here. He's fine for second, while behind, Cox goes past Davies and so too does Bargwanna. But it's going to be a clean sweep in the opening weekend to Todd Hazelwood as he wins all 4 races of Trico Trans Am in the season opener. The one car was dominant.
Get the broom out, Nolts. Maximum points for our reigning champion. What a way to start his 2025 season campaign.
As we confirm those results at the end of 4 thrilling races in the opening stanza. A dominant weekend and gives him a healthy advantage in the championship. Hazelwood from Grice, Morris and Moffat with Jordan Cox in 5th. They got past Tom Davies in the last corner. Ben Bargwanna behind him with Josh Haynes, Tom Davies and Elliot Barber in the top 10. Jared Hughes, Chase Hoy in 12th position. Adam Garwood and Mark Bailey. Great recovery from him in the Jack's Tire and Auto Services car from the back of the field, or near back of the field to be 14. John Hollinger, Graham Cheney, Mark Crutcher, Josh Thomas, Jack Smith, the one that got away for the SCT team, and Des Collier, even with that spin, managed the top 20 with Robbie Farr. He went off the track at turn 6. Michael Coulter, Domain Ramsey, then James Golding. Nathan Hearn did get a result back there in 25th, and Cam Laws, the last car, finishing in 26th place today. And a list of DNFs behind with Webster, Pride, Gomersall, and the big story, Lachlan Evanet, with heavy damage to his number 8 car. Winner from last year. Can't ask for a better start than this. He's down in victory lane. There is Brett Thomas. Absolutely stoked with this effort. He's investing a lot into motorsport right now, and it's paying very, very big. Todd Hazelwood is the winner. Grice home for second, and Nash Morris third in the final one. Cameron Vandendungen ready to talk to some of our excited top 3 at the end of race number 4. Down to you, mate.
Thank you, Matt Nolte. What a way to finish the weekend. We're going to get in here with Tom Davies. We'll make sure he gets his hat for third for the round, gets his 3rd place for the round trophy. Tom Davies, we're also going to grab you the Young Gun Award. Congratulations. We said it was a breakout weekend. What a nervous last lap, though.
Oh, that last lap was just full on. Like, I thought I could maybe hang in there, but no, we sort of got bumped off the track a little bit and then lost too many spots, finished 8th, so a bit bummed, but that's all right.
Fair bit of silverware to take home with you. You must be exceptionally proud of both the team and also your own efforts this weekend. What a breakout weekend for you in Trans Am.
Yep. Yeah, I can't thank the team enough. Like Heafy, Alex, GRM, everyone. Yeah, it's just been a great weekend, and to take home a trophy, just top it off. It's good.
2. We've got the young gun one for you as well. So well done, Tom Davies. Congratulations. Let's head over. He told me he was going to win the last race, but he got 2nd for the round. Ben Grice, congratulations.
I did tell you that, but I can't tell I wasn't trying. I slapped the fence and knocked the mirror cover off of there. So I was strolling around with that on my lap for a little bit, but yeah, got to thank my guys.
Let's get you your cap and your silverware, and then we'll come back to thanking all the guys. Well done.
Thanks to George Hi-Tec Oils for helping putting this show on. Haggett's Trans Am racing, just having a blast in the car. Unfortunately, we're round by round at the moment, but we're hopefully can get to Bathurst and get some more points. But to be 2nd for the round, 2nd for the championship against such a tough, field of drivers is I'm quite pleased with.
Well, there you are, Corporate Australia. Get behind him. He's got silverware round by round. Ben Grice, let's see you at Bathurst.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
All right, we'll continue on. We'll head on over to the next side. Here he is, the perfect weekend. Pole position, race 1 winner, race 2 winner, race 3, race 4. He continues to run. Congratulations, Todd Hazelwood. What a way to start your title defence.
Yeah, that's the perfect weekend, and I don't think I've really done that for a while, so that was really cool. Massive thanks to my whole team at TFH Racing. We had a pretty rough preparation coming here. We were a little bit worried, to be honest, coming here. So to get 4 wins, pole position, championship lead, big thanks to Brett Thomas, my whole team, my family, and that's a great what am I trying to say? Birthday present for my dad. So this wins for him today.
I thought you were about to break some news for us there, Todd. Now, very quickly, mate, it's not easy to clean sweep a weekend. Give us an idea of just how hard it was to stay out in front, because you made it look easy, but you've just said it wasn't easy. So just give us some insight to some of the difficulties you faced.
Look, every session we are literally tuning this car. Whether it's a little bit of ride height, a little bit of spring. That last run, we weren't quite happy with the car. We made a couple of changes, and when you've been leading all weekend, the last thing you want to do is make changes, because you know the car's quick enough to win, but you always got to keep moving forward, because you know these guys behind me are always pushing hard as well. So you always got to keep lifting your own bar, and that's something I think the team here do really well. I push them pretty hard and say, hey, we've got to do this, we've got to do that. So always pushing to be better, and that's this is the end result, so I couldn't be happier.
Before qualifying, you told me it was going to be a tough weekend. Well done. It was the perfect weekend.
It was. No, thanks, Cam, and thanks, everyone. Thanks for watching. Cheers.
Here we go. Look at this. Mark Bailey, congratulations. The Pro-Am winner. That is outstanding. Congratulations.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, just massive hats off to the team far out after that last race, and I got taken out, put in the fence, and probably hit about 5 or 6 cars on the way. They just did so much work, and big thanks to them. This is for them, and yeah, we'll bring on Bathurst soon.
Well, mate, one more question, because you are the Pro-Am winner. It's incredible. We watched the outright fight, but it was a massive fight throughout the entire field. Just how difficult was it to come home with that silverware?
This year they've really stepped up the competition, and yeah, it's tough. It's tougher than ever, and I'm really looking forward to it. It just drives us all forward together, and yeah, it's good racing. Hope everyone enjoyed it.
Tom, we've got that other bit of silverware for you now. This is important because this is the Hi-Tec Oils Race Tasmania Young Gun Winner Trophy. We've talked about your weekend. Congratulations, mate. That's another trophy for the cabinet at home.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, I mean, stoked. Like, the team, just an awesome job. Like, all of us this weekend did a pretty good job, and I'm just stoked. It's good. Can't thank everyone enough.
Mate, I think we've thanked everybody with you. You've had that many interviews this weekend. It's been an in-depth. Just looking ahead to Bathurst, you must be excited and carrying a lot of confidence into that weekend coming up at Easter.
Yeah, I'm obviously looking keen to Bathurst. Bathurst is always an awesome track to drive on. So, yeah, I'm keen to see how we go and, yeah, hopefully keep up the front.
Well done. Well, from one young gun to another, Tom Randall, Aaron Noonan, what a great weekend racing at Race Tasmania.
Round 2 next month, April, lock-in Easter. We are going back to Bathurst. It's the Hi-Tec Oils. Bathurst 6 Hour at Mount Panorama, the production car classic with a full field of proddy cars across multiple classes. It is one of the must-attend race meetings of the year. Loved it last year. It's going to be big again this year. Trico Trans Am Series will be there as well for round 2. 7 rounds coming up this year. 3 with the supercars. Will be at Winton in August, back to Malala in November, and it all wraps up at the Adelaide Grand Finale for the final round of the series, where we crown maybe a new champ, maybe the same champ at the end of a long season. It has been a massive weekend here in Tasmania. Thank you to the entire team. Thank you to everyone involved. We've thoroughly enjoyed coming down to the Apple Isle. It's been a great weekend of racing. We'll see you at Easter at Mount Panorama.